Good. There we go. Oh. All right. Let's see. Does Google Docs have a dark mode? Does Google Docs have a dark mode? Tap the menu. Let's see. I don't see that menu. There's no hamburger menu. Oh, that's on your iPhone or iPad. Well, oh wait, here we go. Let's see. I don't see. I don't see it. Come on, there has to be Google Docs web dark mode. Come on, there's got to be one. Stop telling me for the iPhone or iPad. What I want. Do I have? Is it just that I have to do it on an Android device and then it works on the web? If that's the case, I'll do it right now. Do I have Docs? No. So I'll download Google Docs. Then one second. It's working on it. I'm not quite centered, am I? Not quite centered. Oh, I have the best camera operator, hands down. All right, it's working. I installed Google Docs, and this is what it opened up with. All right, well, perfect. Perfect. So I'm in dark mode on Google Docs. But let me refresh. My docs here are still in. I guess there's a possible way to do it in Chrome by forcing the dark theme. We can try this. Here, let me share my screen. Let me share. I wasn't sharing my screen. I don't know. I was just showing like my docs. Should have done this beforehand. But this is kind of what I wanted to figure out before the main event. So let's see. See, I want this to be. Oh, okay. So what we need to do is open up Chrome. I guess there's this flag. Enable Force Dark. Auto dark mode for web components. Enabled. So relaunch. Let's see if docs have. Oh, look at that. So we just have to use. Oh, and this is still white. Perfect. I guess that kind of makes sense. You have black text. They would have to redo the text. Maybe this is a harder problem. They'd have to automatically. You could do that. You could do that. Okay, well, we'll just use Firefox since we're all set up for that. And that doesn't really help much. All right. What do we need to do? Okay, so I needed a document for tracking the different challenges. I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll do a tab down here for each thing that we test. That's at least the idea right now. This was my star rating, so we also need to rate everything. And the best way. Oh, I didn't change. 1 second. Let me change my my titles. All right. That's better. Now, what I wanted to do was I think so in hacker rank, let's pick out the tests that we want to do. Let's see. Cone of silence. All right. I need to do some more hacker rank, I think. All right. Let's see. Let's let's see. I want language specific ones. I want like algorithms. How do I haven't been here for so long. These aren't oh, here's topics. I was going to say these aren't topics. This is Java. Java's not a topic. It's Okay, so let's do a data structures and an algorithms. So we'll do like a medium from the data structures. Should we do a sparse array? Maybe we'll do a sparse array for the medium. Is it not going to let me copy and paste this code? Smart on them. That's interesting. Are these pictures? Huh. These seem to be like non-clickable entities. Interesting. Interesting. Subarray division and let's do one of their hard. Matrix layer rotation. It kind of sounds fun to solve, to be honest. Um, kind of sounds fun to solve. I've never done matrix layer rotation. Oh, okay. So they actually jump between call or rows. First thing I would have to think about is I don't because they jump between columns, it's not like you just or rows, it's not like you're just rotating rows. I was thinking like you could do something with like a column oriented one, but I'm not sure that would help you. I'd have to think about this. I would have to think about that. It's a good one. I do kind of want to do it now. All right. Well, there's our code ones, but let's go back to this. How are we going to do this? Okay, so we'll do name. So do we put this as like co-pilot code with It's Copilot Code Whisperer, tab 9. Um, Star Coder, Cody. Yeah, but we'll start with that. I think I have a few more on my list to do. And then we can do, so that's the name. And then we'll do hmm sparse array, birthday bar, and matrix rotation. Is that all we need to do? Feels like there should be more to this, but maybe this is all. Maybe this is all. Let's make it look prettier. Yeah. I was wondering why that looked all scrunched, and it was because I was zoomed in. But I think I need to be zoomed in. Otherwise it'd be too small. How with it zoomed in like this do I let's do that. I'll make this look nicer. I'll need to make this look nicer. I can do that during the week though. Not that button, this button. I don't know how to Google Docs very well. That was going to be your statement. That would be a fair statement. There should be a way to do what I'm doing. Oh. You know, I just realized too. I should do like a faint background color that changes. So like dark here. That's better too. 14. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, dark up here. Let's do that. Let's Oh wait, which one was it? There we go. We guessed right. Cool. That looks kind of weird, actually. That looks kind of weird. Let's do like a nice dull blue in between. Yeah, that one's better. Definitely better. Yeah, that looks like garbage. We'll work on that. All right, and then we have the advent of code 2020. All right. Oh, cone of silence. All right. I want 2020. There we go. Day 1. Here we go. Okay. So what we'll do here is basically I want to see how far each one can go before they just start getting 1 stars. We don't have to go past that. So we'll rename this. All right. So then we'll have day 1. Day 5. I think we don't need to do each day. We can take them in groups. And we're just going to copy this over because I think these will be the same. We'll go all 14. Day 10, day 15, day 20, day 25. All right. Beautiful. Can I copy? That's not exactly what I wanted to do at all. I just want to copy. I just want this row. Oh well, I'll make it pretty later. All right, I think that looks good. After we set some of this up, I want to actually test some of this just to see like that all of these are somewhat reasonable. Yeah. All right, what else do we have? All right, go Rust test, C#, active feedback tests. All right. That is. All right, so for these here, I was planning on just coding an application, like just a simple application. Like let's do a web application in each one. But we're gonna put these all together because I want to do the same thing with all of them. Okay, so simple REST and gRPC web app. All right. So simple REST and gRPC. I should probably put Java in this list too. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Gonna have to do it. I don't have a choice. I don't. Okay, this formatting is dumb. Can we just clear cell formatting? Let's do this. Boom. There we go. Nice. Let's see. No, not at all what I meant. That's not at all what I meant. I want something that makes this like a chart, but not like this. I don't want that. We might make some of those, but I wanted something that just made this a little prettier. I don't see it though. I don't see it. Oh well. One endpoint to echo requests. One endpoint to calculate. Should we do something fairly? We should do an easy math problem and then a hard math problem. So one endpoint to calculate. Dog age in human years. One to calculate the acceleration. Would that be easy enough to give the data that it needs? It would need an equation and a time on X. That should be easy enough. Will it be easy enough to give it an equation? We'll find out if it can handle it. We'll find out if it can figure out what it needs. Basically, oh, I know how to do it in code. I don't even know how to make it a REST endpoint myself. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with that one. Now I'm kind of interested in actually how they look to solve it. Let's see. Is there another math problem that might be a little bit easier? We could have it solve the determinant of an array of a matrix. We'll put this as a question mark. I think linear regression would just be hard to actually take. Probably hard to actually give all the variables. Hard to give all the stuff as a rest endpoint. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll have some fun with that. All right, so we'll test some math calculation. We should do some like data processing. Let's see if it can do upload an image. Let's see. Upload image and return. What should we return? We should return something about that image. Hmm. And return the three primary colors used used in it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Anything else we want to do here? I'm trying to think of real world tasks and some things that might be a little bit tricky. All right. Let's see. What else can we do in this little real world test? Or real world. Realish world. We have an upload image. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So let's make a tab for this. We're going to rename it to language tests. And then I think for each one of these, we're going to do something like Rust. We're going to do this a little differently. Echo. Dog to human years. Acceleration of car. determinant. We're probably not going to do linear regression. Upload image. Upload image. Return 3 primary. Is that what we want to do? And then we can redo this for each one. Because the thing is, we then need to do it for each language or for like StarCoder. I feel like StarCoder should go here. And then we should just do like Rust. Oh, this is difficult. I feel like for this one, this is actually easier to do it this way. Like then to do this and do this with Go. And then do this, and then do this with C#. And do this, and do this with Java. Is that the right way to do it? And then we can do, you know, our Copilot here, you know, our whole list of Copilot, Code Whisperer, Cody. Just gonna throw these over here. We'll type them Copilot, Code Whisperer, tab 9, StarCoder, Cody. And delete those. Remove the borders. Okay. I think this is better this way. We don't need 2. Let's just delete these rows. How do we delete rows? There we go. Three rows was just too much. Okay. I think this is probably the easier way to do it. So for each of these, we will test each of these. And then we can do like an overall score. Does my scoring system sound fair? Because right now this is my rating system. 5 stars means it got it perfect, no extra input or fixes. So basically, to get 5 stars, I have to give it the initial query and nothing else. Nothing else. And it has to get it and it has to work. Oh, you know what? These might be difficult to test. It should write some tests though. We should get it to write some tests for us. Actually, you know what we should do? We should have a test project. Yeah, so what tests can you write for me? We'll have a test project. I don't have the test project, but we'll have a project and we'll have it try to come up with some tests. And we'll try to have some like obvious things that could be tested. I think that would be good. So for active feedback tests, I want to test code correlation. Write one function, use it in function 2. So basically, I just want to see like if I write one function and then I go and I start to type out the next that function in another one, if it correlates it and picks the right variables to use. We will do this in Rust and C#. I'm not going to do it in every language for all of them, I don't think. I just don't think I have enough time. I'm going to set aside 6 hours for Saturday. So yeah. We'll see what we can do in 6 hours. And if we need to do like round 2 on Sunday, maybe we'll do a round 2 on Sunday. I'd like to try to run through all of this in the 6 hours next Saturday. And if it's gonna take 7 hours and we're close, I'll do it. But we'll see. We're gonna try to get it all done. Hey Russell, how are you doing today? We're just going through. So if you're just joining, we're just going through our tests that we're doing for our machine learning super showdown. I have some stuff that came up later today, so I didn't have the time. And you know what? I really wasn't prepared anyways, so this is good. I'm taking some time to prep. We can get into some code if you want. I'm taking some time to prep. We're gonna have a score sheet here that we're gonna be able to fill in. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on it afterwards as well. That's like more condensed with like more condensed, more YouTubey. I've struggled. I worked very hard to film another YouTube video this week, and I did film. I filmed it twice. I'm not convinced that I loved it. I tried to make learning more fun, and I think I failed at it. But I'm gonna post it anyways. I'm gonna post it, and I want feedback. Like I don't want feedback necessarily on execution. It's not the greatest execution because I've never made a video like that before. And so obviously my execution isn't great because it's going to take practice and doing it. So I get that the execution isn't going to be perfect. But I want it more on, is this type of video a fun way to get information across? Does it make learning about software engineering more approachable and, interesting? That's kind of like not that I nailed actually doing it, but more of like the concept was a good concept, whether I screwed it up or not. Day 25 is usually easier than day 24. Oh, so we should do day 24? Okay. I've never gotten past I always get into the high teens, and then I don't have enough time. I'm like, I just don't have enough time for this. It's too much. Too much. All right, so I'll update this to day 24. I wasn't going... And this is another thing that I'm trying to balance is I'd like to get this... Okay, that makes sense. I'm trying to balance granularity and the amount of time. I'm gonna try to only spend 6 hours next Saturday. As I was explaining, if I need to do another 4 hours on Sunday, we're gonna bust this out. We're gonna bust it out and do as thorough of a check as we can. But I'm trying to that's why I'm not doing every single day. We're skipping days because we don't really need to. And also if CodePilot fails on day 5 and gets a 1 star, why did you even try? We probably won't even go on to the other days. I don't know. We'll see. This is another question that I've had. I don't know if this is a good rating system. So basically my rating system here, okay, that just made it look silly, was this. You got a 5 star on a task if you got it perfect with no extra inputs than any other AI got. So basically the base inputs that you're given. If you get it perfect and it just works, that's a 5-star. A 4-star is got it, but it had minor tweaks to the code or a rewording of ask, or like if we can make a simple change to what we asked it, like to clarify something, I think that's a valid 4-star. Or if it's like, okay, it got it correct, except that it just needs this one tweak to the code, like a very minor tweak, 4 stars. 3 stars is the gist was there and the code was useful but required a lot of help. 2 is the code was worthless, like the majority of the code was worthless, but there were some bits that we could salvage. So like, it was for the most part incorrect, but it got some things right. And then 1 star is basically, why did you even try to autocomplete this? You had no idea what you were talking about. I don't know if this is the best way to rate these things. This is what I came up with, though, because I'm trying to make it as consistent across tests. That's what I'm trying to do. These are the hacker ranks that I came up with. So the sparse array, the birthday bar, and the matrix rotation. I think actually they're all going to do really well at these type of problems. I kind of expect them to nail these. Why do we have blue? I don't know. I screwed up. Anyways. So then we have advent of code. Okay, so this was the test that we were working on right now, which was Oh, can I write a web server in a language I don't know? I'm already there with you, Russell. Now, the question here is, I kind of don't know C#, but it's kind of like Java, and I have written C# and I have seen it in the past, so it's not completely. I could pick something that really I have very, very little knowledge of, like Fortran. Or actually, I have less of COBOL. I don't know COBOL. Ballerina or OCaml? Okay. Those are also great. I have seen OCaml. I know nothing about it, though. Just seeing it has not shed any light on it. Okay. Maybe we'll do this depending on what people want at the time. Like maybe tomorrow or next week, I will just ask which one I should try to do. Or F#. I'll put F# on there. I was going to do one of like the kind of liked functional, but I know Haskell decently. I say decently, like I can write some stuff in it. So I'm not sure that would be very fair. I'm not worried about getting this into .NET just because I did do the C#. I thought that this hit most of the developers. I know that this is no JavaScript. I feel like JavaScript is the thing that does the best, so there's no need to test it. Java is probably where Java and C# are the most developers, and then this is going to really test the edge cases. Maybe I don't need to do Rust and Go. Maybe I could cut one of these out. Maybe I could cut one of these out. Also, I guess, really, this should just be this as well. We should do all these tests with a language I don't know. Can you think of, Russell, can you think of another thing that here? So basically, I wanted a simple REST and gRPC web application, one endpoint to echo requests, one endpoint to calculate dog age in human years, calculate the acceleration of a car, calculate the determinant of a matrix. I don't know about this one because I think for linear regression, you'd have to pass in an equation. The same for the acceleration of a car. But I kind of thought like it would be cool to ask them something like, I don't know how I would do it necessarily as a REST endpoint. I don't know, honestly. And I think that would be kind of cool to see how they handle it. Um, upload an image, and return the three primary colors used in it. Is there anything else we should ask that's kind of real world? I wanted these to be kind of real world. Um, so like you're making a microservice. What might you do? I I shied away from user interaction, like user data. Like that's a whole lot of like, what do you have in your database? You want it to integrate with Auth0? That's probably, oh no, OAuth. Sorry, I read Auth0. Okay. Should we do a third-party middleware, like a really popular one? I'm guessing this is going to be a middleware anyway, which will be good to see if it can pick up a what middleware. Right. That's also what that's what I'm trying to do, is like it's doable, but and kind of real world. This is kind of supposed to be the real world test, like things that you would do as a software engineer. These are more hypothetical. Like I don't know anybody that's ever done a matrix rotation. Although I want to do this on stream at some point. Maybe sometime when I have a break and I'm streaming a little bit more, I'd love to do this matrix rotation. I've never done that. Didn't go to school for software engineering, so I've never done something like that. Kind of would like to figure that out. Configure a So should we do a configuration session? Because I was actually going to configuration. I kind of wanted to see, like, can it make a Kubernetes deployment? Can it configure a reverse proxy? I don't know that I need to put can it. I can just put, like, yeah, sorry. All right. Create. So we'll add another sheet here. We'll rename this to configuration. We should be able to do this like this here. I don't know how I got this blue border. I'm not very good at Google Sheets. We'll copy from here since it doesn't have any weirdness going on to it. Put that right in there. And then we'll do, let's see. And then We'll make those all 14. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Go, Rust, C Sharp, Java. Should I, instead of, I want to say instead of Rust, but I really like to have Rust there. I think Rust is a good edge case. Maybe instead of Go, we do JavaScript for one of these. Ooh, to configure Let's Encrypt for, we can do it. I don't think it will work. I feel like I should do JavaScript, but I just feel like I've done. I feel like JavaScript's going to be the most supported, but I also feel like it's going to be something a lot of people are interested in. And I feel like Go and Rust would be kind of the same category of people, but I feel like there's more Go people than there are Rust people. But I feel like Rust is also the one that would struggle more. C Sharp covers the .NET community. Java covers the massive Java community. Maybe we just add JavaScript. You know what? Maybe I just make this a 2-day thing and life sucks next week. Maybe that's what we do. I feel like we got to go through and I know that Java and C, like I actually had that same thought as like these two, and this is why like I don't know C Sharp very well, but I have seen it, and every single time I see it, like it looks exactly like Java with like some namespaces and a different package manager, and like obviously there's more differences than that, but like that's like they're very very close. But I do feel like they're two very different communities. And so like I feel like if I drop C Sharp, I drop the .NET people. If I drop Java, I drop the majority because I think there's more Java than there are C Sharp people. Um so maybe I just need to do all of them. I think that's like what I've come up with. Is that I just have to bite the bullet, and we'll get like a process going to make this a little bit easier. Maybe I feel like maybe it won't take as long as I think it will. Offend everyone and choose Visual C++. Just to put the like just to make sure like everybody's upset. We won't just do C++ like 20, which is actually a fairly decent language in my opinion. I mean, it took too long to get there, don't get me wrong, and I think Rust is still better, but C++ 20 actually is a pretty nice language. I actually, if I was part of the C++ board, would actually drop backwards compatibility. I would say, hey, look, we're doing right way with raw pointers. You can't use them anymore unless you use unsafe tags. And then, yeah, your old code doesn't work anymore, but too bad. But that would also like that's what I would do, but also I realize that that's not necessarily what the community wants, and so like it's not necessarily a good thing for the community. And most people already have good ways to deal with it. Oh, my Swift knowledge is not very good. That's actually maybe a good one. Swift. I used it when there was Swift version 2. Um And I know that they've done a ton of breaking changes. They're on like Swift version 5 or 6. So I have used it, but I know it less than any of these by far. And you guys know that I don't know JavaScript very well, but I know JavaScript better than I do Swift for sure. Do I know that Swift uses arc? Yes, I do. Do I remember how to assign a variable? I don't know. I think it's let, but they could be the ones that have like const too. I feel like there's two ways, and I believe they have like weak and strong references for their like reference counting. So like uh, again, but I don't even remember how to designate those. So I think Swift would be a decent one actually. I'm gonna put this down here. We're gonna say Swift because that also gets the Apple people involved. That was a good call, but maybe one of these here. Maybe. All right, so keep thinking. We have all week to think of some of these other tests that are sufficiently complicated. I have the easy ones. Like, I feel like echo and dog to human ears are fairly easy, but just prove that they can write um, a web API. And then these are sufficiently complicated. These two right here are like I kind of expect them to fail, but I like to see them try. Like if they can actually do a determinant of a matrix, I'll be fairly impressed. Um, I can solve a determinant by hand. I don't even know how I would do it on a computer. But then the upload is fairly standard. Like I feel like doing this is a pretty standard thing to do. OAuth is pretty standard. I'd like to find some other pretty standard things. That we can do that also shouldn't take a ton of time. The other thing is what I'm going to be working on during the week, and I can share this with people in Discord. These sheets is I want to have the questions copy and pastable. So basically, again, if we go back to my star rating, I'd like to have the question worded in such a way where it's just ready to go. One, because I'm going to have to do this a bunch of times. And so I want to make it so that I can go as fast as possible because we're going to be going through a lot of scenarios. So a lot of these should already be worded and ready to just copy and paste in there. Like this Kubernetes deployment one, let's have a section. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Go Java, C Sharp. Configuration. We could do like a GitHub action. I think that's a pretty popular. Let's get everything to 14. A pretty popular thing to do. It's not really configuration. It's I don't know. It's not really configuration. But it's not really writing code either. It's YAML file. So I'm putting it in configuration. Okay, so then the active feedback test. Now, I know that we've been using them and we have our preferences by using them as just typing. So, like, that's what I mean by active feedback. You're not asking questions. Everything up here is writing a paragraph and putting that in a comment. That's what everything so far here. Advent of code, hacker rank, and even all of these are just going to be like, here's a comment with what I'd like to have happen. Please go do it. and the configuration. The active is where I'm typing and getting feedback from. So one was code correlation. Basically, I want to test their ability to. I created a function. Now I'm going to start typing that function name with some variables. Let's say I made a function add. Actually, let's write these out as these are the ones I want to do. Add is going to be the easy one. It's going to take int, and returns an int. I wrote that half in Rust, half in Go. That's fantastic. And basically, when you go to call add, it should say, hey, you have an X and Y. We're going to, auto-complete with that because that's obviously what you want to add. It's correlating the new code with the old code that you wrote. We should do a little bit more complicated one. We could do dog age in human years. Because we could compare, like, we could try to make a function that, like, who's older and have a person passed in and a dog passed in and, see if it picks up that it needs to, both of those structs will have an age and it needs to pick up that it needs to convert the dog to human years. I don't know. If we've already written that function, I want to see that correlation, that understanding the code that's already been written. So this is going to be active feedback. We don't need to do too much here because we already have our feeling on them. So I'll talk about that when I make my video. Like, I'll include that. We have used all of them for weeks at a time. So yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good test. But I did want to have some specific, like, testable things because, again, one of the things I'd like to do is come back and do this again next year. And so I'd like to make something that is somewhat reproducible so that next year, obviously, we'll tweak it and update it and make it better, but we can see how things have improved or gotten worse or, just give us a fair starting ground. Okay, so what other active I couldn't come up with other active feedbacks. Now, this is the last one here is something I think Cody is going to do very well at and others are going to struggle at. I think. But I want to do, like, asking questions about my code. Like, can you help me write some tests? Can you improve? So I'm going to write some demo applications this week in these languages. And they're all just going to be basically copy and paste of the other ones in just the language. They're going to be simple applications with just a couple things. And my plan is to actually, and I'm probably going to actually stream a couple times this week because I'm just going to be making all these things. The goal here will be to have, like, some things that are easy to make a test for. So we can say, hey, I want to test this function and see if it can write the test for it. But also just general overall code feedback. So we'll do sheet 6. We'll rename this to code comprehension. I have no idea how to spell comprehension. One second. Define comprehension. That's the 2 S's. Wait. No, I said compression there. One second. Comprehensive. All right. Maybe that's it. Perfect. I don't know. Do people spell comprehension often? I do not. All right, code comprehension. What does my code do? Improve reliability. Improve security. Improve my testing. Those were the things that I could think of right now. Swift is open source, right? So I can install. I don't have to do that on a Mac, right? Yes, sweet, 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 sweet. Does it run? Do we have a package? Do I have to like my question is like do I have to like compile this thing or do we have a package for Arch? Ah, sweet. Sweet goodness. It's just a repackaged Fedora. I guess I don't really care. Whatevs. So we got code support. Okay, this should be good. Good enough. Just code or Vim support is all I really need. Good. I think I like Swift. I think that was a fantastic idea. We'll hit most communities this way. I might see if I can't take Friday or Monday off though. That's a good one. What is that in though? What category is that in? Setting up a Docker build, a Docker compose. I think that's this configuration. Yeah. So Docker compose would be nice. Docker compose. Build Swift project in Docker. I'm going to install Swift beforehand because if this fails and doesn't, I think it would be nice to have it locally. Also, just from the sense of, I don't know if these AIs don't use the LSP, but I was gonna say, like, for me, if I have to actually help it write some of it, I want the LSP to be there for me, because the LSP is gonna help me. But I like that. I like that. We can have it make a make file for us. I don't like make files, but there are some projects like Go kind of makes you make a make file. So basic make file. So it'd be good to see. It's something people. I'm trying to hit a lot of things also that are quantifiable. I'm trying to make them quantifiable, but also things that people actually do, not just made up. Like, hey, this AI is really good because it can solve pi to the nearest billionth place when you ask it to. Or it can solve HackerRank. Like, I'm going to test the HackerRank. Of course I'm going to test the HackerRank problems. But again, I've never done matrix rotation because that's not really a real world problem. It sounds fun to solve, but if that's like it's like solving a puzzle, not like solving a real problem. Okay. Um we need to work on these. We need to come up with this. So I'm going to make a repo for basically all the code we start with. And then what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to actually clone that. I'm going to make I'm going to make it a template in GitHub. And then when we run the test, I'm going to actually clone it and make a new repository. And the reason I'm going to do that is it's going to allow us to commit the results for that year. Or actually, maybe we just do it with like directory. So like we have the template as one directory, and then we'll have the other directory as that year's results. That's what I'm going to do. So, all right. I feel like we need some more in these real world tests. Advent of Code, Hacker Rank have. I actually think Advent of Code will be one of the better tests, honestly. I honestly think Advent of Code will be one of the better tests. I think this will be one of the better tests. Configuration, I think everything's going to fail at. Active feedback is one where I also think that this is going to be interesting if we can do it well. So let's write these down. So we'll do name, correlation. Actually, let's. I don't know how to do this. Do we just want to do. Okay, let's do everything 14. Do we want to do. I feel like there's a better correlation problem here. I'm happy to replace one of these with. I just couldn't think of it. Okay, so other things that I'd like to see it doing during active. What are some other things that it should be helping with or should be doing while you're actively coding? Trying to think of ones that we can actually quantify as well. Just we'll have to think on this one. I don't know. Maybe we scrap this one. Now, I feel like Cody is the only one that's actually able to do any of this stuff where you can actually ask questions about your code base. We're going to try it with some of the other ones. I think yeah, I don't know that I can write insecure code. I'll have to ask somebody else. No, I tease. There's like some easy ones. So like you can do buffer overflows. That would be one where you don't check bounds on something. And you can even get around that in different languages. Like you can say, oh, well, Rust is going to try, but you can still do an integer overflow if you want. So those are some. Not checking for nil in Go. Another one would be like in here. Did you sanitize inputs? So if you're getting a web request, a REST request, you should sanitize those inputs. So it should recommend that you sanitize the inputs. If you use some inputs in and use like make a database request, that should be. So in this we need to use inputs without sanitizing them to make a DB request. That's easy. Should have an integer overflow. Should. A lot of these languages, we can't really do memory problems, right? I don't think any of these will. I think in Swift, if I remember correctly, you could, but in general, you can't have memory issues in these. Where you're like allocating outside of bounds or things like accessing unallocated memory. I don't think that's possible. Trying to think of easy things. Like I'm not trying to do like the cross-site scripting or poison caches or anything like that. Like I don't even know how I would write those tests. That's next year's test. Next year's. A suitable slow function. Okay. That's great. Improve performance. We'll put the ask here. Should have a slow on purpose function. You know what we could do? We could use a bad sorting algorithm. Ooh, let's do this. One function should be on sorting. The initial way we do it should just be like to not have a sort, like brute force. Like, so we should solve one of the hacker ranks with just a brute force implementation that always comes down to, oh, if I sorted the array, it would be faster, something like that, and see if it can pick up that it needs to be sorted. That would be fantastic. Also kind of real world, doesn't come up very often. One function should just be doing unneeded things, like doing extra stuff that doesn't actually apply to the end result. Doing extra stuff. One function should read the same file twice. So it uses it like twice in the function, and you really don't need to read it twice. You can read it once and hold it in memory. Awesome. Security. We'll make these like this. Okay, that's not what I meant. If you think of another security one, again, I'll be sharing this document in Discord so you all can have access to it. For those of you just starting, next week, next Saturday, maybe Sunday, I'm going to try to knock it out in one weekend. We are doing the machine learning super showdown. So that's going to start in the morning on Saturday. I'm going to tweet some links or tweet about it all this next week so that you know exactly when it starts. And I'll be making a YouTube video covering the highlights, like a 20-minute YouTube video covering the highlights. But basically what we want to know is what ML project is best at recommending you code from a security standpoint, from a useful standpoint, from a reliability standpoint. And we're building tests. We're building a rating system, and we're going to do this once a year. So right now, another thing that you can help me with is these are the ones that we're going to do right now: Copilot, CodeWhisperer, Tab9, StarCoder, and Cody. If there's another one that we should be testing next week, you got to let me know today. You got to let me know this week. So, and if you would like to help out with writing some of these, join the Discord. I'm going to be putting these links in Discord so you can share some of this. We're going to be testing it for a bunch of different languages. So if you're wanting to know how it works with Go, one thing I have noticed is not all languages are equal. So not all of these tests will we test all the languages. Advent of code, we're probably going to pick you know what we'll probably do is we'll probably run the language tests, and we'll probably pick the best language. So if Copilot is best at C#, we'll probably do the Advent of code in C# for Copilot. I don't know. We could do it for each language, but we've got to do it in one weekend. We've got to do all of it in one weekend. So I doubt we'll do that. We'll try to keep it sane, but we'll also try to be as exhaustive as possible in our research. All right, let's see. So let me know if you have one that's, I believe this covers most of everything: Copilot, CodeWhisperer, Tab9, StarCoder, Cody. These are the ones we've been using. These are like active in your code editor. These are more like ask questions. Oh, I don't have ChatGPT in here. Of course, we'll do ChatGPT. Yeah, Russell, you know what? I had to start early because I have to leave early, and I wasn't thinking. ChatGPT's in there, of course. Of course, ChatGPT. Now, if you notice in the language test, I don't... We'll put ChatGPT in here as well. I was going to say, like, I don't know that it makes sense for Cody and ChatGPT to be here because they don't actively code these things, but we'll block them out into questions and see how they do. We'll see how they do. ChatGPT's right there. All right. I was getting fancy with making this a chart. I should not do anything in any of these. I'm not a document person. I probably should have just made this a CSV file. I know, I'm a little daunted, but hopefully throughout this week, we're going to make it so that a lot of this goes really quickly and we have fun doing it. A lot of these things should be like copy and paste in the question, see how it does. You know, so I'm hoping that if I get everything set up right, it's just boom, 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 boom. That's the hope. It's not going to go that way, I assure you, but that's the desire. All right, so we have configuration. If you guys can think of a common configuration thing, a real world configuration thing, let's do it. We have GitHub Actions, we have Docker Compose, build a Swift project in Docker, basic makefile. We have some active feedback. This is one thing I really need some feedback on. I want topics where we're actually interacting with the AI while typing code, but that we can reproduce. The whole idea is that these are reproducible and basically, you know, actually Cody and ChatGPT don't make sense here. Neither does StarCoder, because this has to be active feedback. Like, this is, I'm typing code. When do you realize as the AI what I'm doing and how to make it better? That's the concept. So, but right now, all I can think of is correlation, which I'm sure that there's more than that to test. So help me on that. Code comprehension. Okay, this is where we were working. We have security. Let me get the updated Chat GPT. There we go. Updated list here. I think making it big was a mistake. Oh well, we'll just copy and paste this one. No, I didn't want you to. What the? I wanted you to paste in each of the. There we go. All right. Let's go back down to 10. All right. So in this, we have security. Security. Sanitize inputs. We have security. Integer overflow. I need some more security ideas that are easy enough. Like if it's too convoluted again, it's not going to be helpful. You can't argue a cross-site scripting attack or things like that. If it's more than one component, I don't think it's improve reliability. So for this, I'm thinking in Go. I'm going to ask it in Go at least. I can have like a not check an object for null. I don't know if I can do that in C#. I can do it in Java too. I'm guessing I can in C# as well. So I'm going to not have those and see if they can be like, hey, you should check this object if it's null because you're passing in a pointer and you're just using it. Improve reliability. Okay, improve testing, and then this comes to another category, which should be performance. I will just do perf. Fix non-sorted. And then we want to another perf, which is going to be doing unneeded stuff. And then the last one is perf read file twice. Okay. And this is what we're going to ask them about our code as a whole with these as well. We're not going to, well, we'll see. We're not going to ask them about like improve this function. We're going to say, hey, my code as a whole. Now, I don't know how we're going to do that with ChatGPT or StarCoder, to be honest, because they're not running in your code. So are we going to paste all of it into it and ask it? That's probably what I'm going to do. We'll see how it works. Okay, remote code execution via unparsed args. Okay. Okay. Good. These are good ones. Good, easy to implement with one step. Insert column to left. Okay, so security, local file inclusion, and security via unparsed args. All right. This one was about databases. Awesome. All right, you know what I'm going to go do is we're going to go over here, Firefox, GitHub, null channel. What should this repo be called? What should this repo be called? ML Showdown? What would be a good name for this? We need a name for this. I thought I brought my water bottle down. Hey, bud, do you see my red water bottle over there? Did I set it down somewhere over there? Oh, thank you. I feel like this is dumb. The AI games. I like it. The AI games. Beautiful. Make it public. No git ignore. License will be Apache 2. Okay. Just some games to test what a set of challenges to test the abilities of coding AIs. All right. Q. Awesome. All right. So you're all more than welcome to join in on this repo. What I'm going to start doing is kind of setting up this document here in like a template area where like the actual games are, and then we'll make a folder for each year. So let me start doing that. I think that's like the good way of doing this. But we're gonna have to learn and go through on with it. So let's create a new folder. We're gonna call this the AI games. And then we're also going to make a new folder for 2023. So this is like this year's games, because I think it's really cool to keep a history. We're gonna probably log everything while we're doing it in this spreadsheet, because I think that spreadsheet is gonna make it easier. But I think it should all be in the I don't know, maybe we won't even log it in the spreadsheets. Maybe we'll just log it in the repository, because it should be in the repository for sure. Let's get this in a markdown file right now. And this also makes it kind of collaborative. You guys can make pull requests to it if you want to make a change. I know Google Docs is also collaborative, but then you have to worry about permissions and everything. It's open source. You make a pull request. I accept it. All right. Let's see. I lost all formatting. We're gonna have to. Ugh. We're gonna have to work on that. Yeah. Okay. We'll work later on that. We will tidy this up a little bit. Okay. So we have that. And then let's see. We need to basically, I want to make a new folder for each of these. Maybe we shouldn't call it hacker rank, but coding challenges, competitive coding. Maybe that's what it is. Competitive coding, new folder for Advent of Code, a new folder for microservice. I don't really want to call it microservice, but this is like what we normally do as developers. What's a good name for this challenge? Um uh Web server. It's the web server test. Web server. Okay. Configuration. Active feedback. And then this is like questions about the code. So like this is code comprehension. Right? Code. Do we want to call it code comprehension? Project comprehension? I'm just gonna say project comprehension for right now. We can name them differently. Project. I don't know how to spell comprehension again. 1 second. I already looked this up, didn't I? I did. I got rid of the search result too. And I searched for compression first. There we go. There we go. Comprehension. So we'll say project comprehension. Okay. Let's go ahead and make a readme in here. And in here, we're going to all right. Cool. I did not mean that. All right. AI test to test how well the AIs can assist you in writing configuration and things. Yeah, things. All right. I won't bore you guys with sitting here and writing all these out. So, man, I don't have a whole lot more time to stream. What do we want to do for the last 30 minutes I have to stream? I know this is shorter than usual. I can continue filling this out if that's what you guys would like. I just don't have a whole lot of time today. So the other thing, what I was going to start doing is like project comprehension is we were going to make a C# project here. A Rust, and we're going to ask the same questions about each one of those projects. It should be fairly simple and quick because each one of these tests, because if the project's already made, it's probably already there. Maybe not all the languages. We might just do these four. Yeah, that gets the majority of people. It's not perfect, but so I'm gonna write just some projects that have the same flaws. So the ones that we were talking about here, the integer overflow, the local file inclusion, the remote code execution, reliability. Yeah. So if you'd like to see these be written, I'll be writing these this week. I will probably be streaming more than normal because I just got to write these. All right, and then the competitive code. We can actually do these right now, I think. So the competitive coding is what we're going to use HackerRank for, unless you guys know a better one. So we're doing the sparse array. I might just do these. So I think for these, it's literally just questions. I'm not going to have any code pre-done. So I'm not sure. Let's actually work through these. I think we can actually work through these. Let me just write this really quickly. All right, so let's try just doing the sparse array. Sparse array, readme. We'll just do problem.md. This is like the actual problem statement because, again, and this is what we're doing. Now, the great thing here is they made it so that you can't copy and paste their problem, which is unfortunate. Oh, wait. Is this copying the input? I think it's copying the input. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to just have to try to reword this as best as possible. To work. There's a collection of input strings and a collection of query strings. For each query string, determine how many times it occurs in the list of input strings, return an array of results. Do we give it... I almost feel like we do this. We almost do something like this. Hint 1 or prompt 1. We could almost see how many prompts it needs. So we could give it no example, and then we could go like this, where we give it both the problem statement and an example. This we need to actually work. All right. Maybe we just bring this on the other page. I feel like we're going to have to reword this. Yeah, let's reword this. All right. Let's see. Example. There's a collection of input strings and a collection of query strings. For each query string, determine how many times it occurs in the list of input strings. Do we just give it the first prompt? Will an example help? I don't know. Actually, that's probably a good thing to test, is if a simple example will help. Like, if it doesn't get it with just the prompt, would an example help? Interesting. They're actually missing in that little picture. They're missing a a quote, a single quote. It doesn't matter. And a query of the result would be. I don't even know again if this would help. 2, 1, 0. And I have a typo here. There we go. Now, the idea would be that what we do is each AI that competes gets its own folder with its own results. No, it doesn't need its own folder. It's going to have code. So do we just put that code in? Do we put it in its own folder so like it can have a full project code? Like, what I was thinking was we do something like, you know, Cody, Chat GPT, Code Whisper. The reason I was thinking of it this way is because really for Code Whisperer to work, you need to be inside of a project, but you really only need to be in a file. I feel like we don't need any folders here, honestly. I feel like we can just do this like this. Let's actually do it with Copilot right now just to test it out. We'll do just go. Yeah, we'll just do this. And then we'll just take the problem. We might need to reword it more for AIs. Like, I feel like this might not be worded well for AIs, but we'll see. Let's throw this back on 3. Okay. Did they stop doing multi-line imports or like recommendations? This is interesting. I believe it did brute force. Oh wait. No, this is actually just getting the inputs. Never mind. This didn't do it at all. Oh wait. Let's see. Print line of the count. Oh. Anyways, so it imported something it didn't need. This is where like maybe Go isn't a very good one to do with this. Maybe we shouldn't do it in Go. Because Go is going to complain if you write just a single file like this. So is Rust really as well. This is where I was thinking if I would give them their own project file, because then they could have like their own Go module. Maybe doing them in JavaScript would be best then. Because it'd be oh, I didn't even think about Python. Because it would be nice that if it would just be a self-contained file instead of needing to like actually set this up in Go. Go is annoying with its project import path. I like probably my biggest pet peeve of Go is this. Like, this is stupid. Yeah. Okay. Not Go. What would we use not Go? I feel like Rust would also be difficult because unless you made a cargo project, Python and JavaScript seem like the easiest. Let's just run this again in JavaScript. Let's try it in JavaScript. Let's write this in JavaScript. Let's see how that looks. I think what we need to do is maybe make this a little bit more prompty, like write a function that takes a collection of input strings and a collection of query strings. Okay, I feel like that's better. It's more AI prompty. Enter your code here. What? Enter your code here? Maybe we need to do it for multiple languages. Okay, so it's saying that they're all each on a new line. That's fine. I guess. Why is it parsing an int? This should fail. It's not an int. It's a collection of strings. Oh man, I thought Copilot was going to do really well on this. I thought this was where it was going to shine. Do we need to come up with some of our own challenges that are maybe less competitive programming? I thought this... Like, it's just gonna fail here. Doesn't even matter if it got the right idea. But it didn't even get the right idea, like... Write a function that takes a collection of input strings and a collection of query strings. It only has one input. Oh, snap. How do I make Python make comments? Yeah, this is where it kind of gets to be difficult. All right. Just will each AI need maybe Oh, dude, this was trained on HackerRank. This right here. It's just like picking up the stuff that was off HackerRank. I don't know what it's doing now. It's scaring me. Oh, that's the array. Okay, I got it. I got it. What is it doing? It's not actually solving the problem. It's just making stuff up now. Okay, stop this. Stop this. I'm just gonna delete this. Maybe if I just type def. All right. I had to get it out of a query. It's brute forcing it again. It's not doing the sparse array. Will each AI need a different finessing of prompts? If so, what is a fair scoring system? I don't know. I don't know what a fair scoring system is then. I would say that this right here is fairly direct and to the point. I feel like if you have to diverge a bunch from this, then that's a problem, right? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we get rid of this test. If it proves that, I think maybe, especially this is the first year we're doing the games. The first year we're doing the games, if there is something that requires too much variation, finessing between the two, then we can take one of two paths. Say there is no finessing, and we expect it to work based off of, we can argue and agree about a good way to write this, and that's it. If it doesn't get it, it doesn't get it. Or we can say if there's prompt finessing, how much is an acceptable level? I don't know. Because part of me says the better the AI is, the less I have to finesse it. The less I need to finesse this. Because if it's really good, it should just understand it however I write it. And honestly, I think HackerRank does a pretty good job about writing it very accurately. And so I think if you're diverging from that, and needing to do stuff, I personally think that if you need to finesse it, it's a problem. The better the AI is, the better it should perform without finesse. Yeah? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be just very wrong on that. What's your thoughts? Is finesse allowed? If so, how much? Is that going to just be something that we feel out? It's our first AI coding games. Next year it will be better. We'll take some lessons learned. It might mean that some AIs fail immediately. I think you're right. This is my problem if I... Oh. Okay, so my understanding is that the better the AI is, the less I should have to prompt engineer. I don't mind prompt engineering a little bit, like coming up with a better way of writing this. There's probably a better way of writing this for AIs in general, and I don't mind doing that to a certain extent. But part of mine is like in real world, if you're sitting there needing to prompt engineer and finesse, also this is terrifying. I'm not sure what it's doing quite yet. I need to read it, but the number of unwraps in here is terrifying. just terrifying. Why does everybody put it into it as an integer? I don't know. Like, a collection of input strings, of query strings. Why are we parsing it as an integer? That's the output. Return an array. Determine how many times it occurs in the list of input strings. Copilot is failing on this one, but so I guess what I was saying is I think in my opinion, you shouldn't have to prompt engineer for it to give you what you want. Now, maybe that's a wrong opinion, and maybe if you have to prompt engineer, it's like learning another language then. And I almost would be like, what's the point of the machine learning? I mean, obviously, like, it does it faster or whatnot, or you could say stuff like that. But is that what we're trying to test? I don't think that that's what we're trying to test. I don't know. What do you think would be most useful to people? I'm trying to make something where people could go look at it and it be useful and obviously fun as well. We're here to have a little bit of fun, but I'd like the results to be useful. Yeah, I will preface it with, this is the decision we made. If you think that there would be a decision that has, a better general purpose across AIs, join the Discord and let's talk about it. Because our idea is to find the best general purpose AI that's going to just work for you the best. Maybe they're right, and they can write that comment. If you just asked it like this, then my choice of AI would have worked, and that would be great. So what are we creating? We are creating the AI games. Russell came up with the name. It wasn't me. Basically, what this is we are testing the capabilities of coding AIs. So we've come up with a bunch of tests that we wrote down over here. Basically, we want to see what is the best, and we kind of want to actually prove that it's the best coding AI. So we have a bunch of challenges for it to go through, and we're going to do this all next weekend. So it might be a very long weekend for us. It's not a game. It's a competition. You can think of it as the Hunger Games for AIs, basically. So we're going to take them and we're going to have them do a bunch of different things. This is a decathlon. I can't speak English. Anyway, so they're going to be asked to solve Advent of Code, day 1, day 5, day 10, day 15. And we're going to judge them on how well they solve the problem. And so we're setting this up. It's open source. It's going to be in this repository. We're going to track the results, and we're going to do it again next year. See what AI is the best one. Now, if you're asking what we do generally on this channel, we do a lot of stuff. That's just what we're doing for the next 2 weeks. Is this? We have written a Twitch bot that we've watched Twitch alerts. We've written our own AI-powered Twitch alerts, so when somebody follows or subscribes, they get a custom message just designed for them. We are currently working on the Null Cloud, which is a pet project of mine, where I think cloud providers have gone completely wrong, and that work will pick back up once we're done with the AI games. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I'll make a YouTube video out of the AI games. So yeah. Oh, I like that. So maybe you can start at create a persona for the tester. Like it's a non-coder that wants to do everything. A junior that can reason about things, or a senior that wants to. Okay. So each test really should have a persona as well. Okay, we'll have to think about how we word those. How we word those. Maybe it's pick one for the task. Like, okay, for these, I don't know anything about code. I want it to just work. I want it to write the code. These are all very well detailed and described. I want the AI to just do it for me. Um, you know, maybe these can be under a different persona. So I'm going to pick one persona for each group of tests. And then this one, I think it would be like, I'm a senior engineer. Or I'm a junior engineer, and I want, I don't know the language very well, and I want to help me do it, but I know how to write code. I know what code looks like. I'm just, actually writing this application in these different languages. The security and these down here and like the performance, I want to take the persona of I'm a senior engineer. I actually want to ask it intentional questions about those. So, yeah, we're actually planning on using Copilot, CodeWhisper, Tab9, StarCoder, Cody, and ChatGPT. So if you have another AI that you think can code better than the rest of these AIs, you should let us know. We're trying to see which one of these is best in general, as a general. We have a rating system that we've designed. Again, this is the first year we're doing it, so next year is going to be better, but we came up with this. Basically it got it perfect, no extra input or fixes, got it. Minor tweaks would need to be made or rewording of ask. The gist was there, the code was useful but required a lot of help. The code was worthless, but there were some bits that could be salvaged. And why did you even try? That's our star rating system. Yeah, and yeah, we plan on testing a bunch of them. So, that being said, I need to get going. It is 10:40. I need to be going right now because I was supposed to be leaving like 10 minutes ago. So, thank you everybody for joining me today. I had fun. We'll be working on this throughout this week. The GitHub repo is out there. It's going to be open source, so feel free to contribute if you want to help work on this a little bit. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do news, and maybe we'll do some more of this because I gotta kick it into high gear. So we might do an hour of this after the news next week or tomorrow. So, anyways, I will talk to you all later. Thanks everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow.